Okay, so today I found this video called Millennial Writing by Shredded Nerd. I'm a millennial and I write, so roast me. I'm ready. Let's go. It's for video games, so we'll see if I have what it takes to become a gamer.
I've noticed a trend in writing. It
Oh,
seems to be getting more common over
I
time.
think
It's a
I
certain type of
know.
writing that I'm trying to describe. The best term I can think of to call it is
YA write.
millennial
Oh,
writing. You'll find out why. Okay, imagine this. You know those tweets that are like, capitalism low-key killed our vibe and gaslit us into being okay with our bosses and landlords taking our excess value. And then it has like 250,000 likes.
totes, my
I'm more
goats.
so just referring to the Twitter style of speaking, the tone and affectation and vocabulary. Now, have you noticed this
It looks
style
like
of writing
4chan
in
or
modern
Tumblr
games?
writing.
I'll
What?
go through some examples to shed further
Okay.
light. Remember the cringe Saints Row
No.
reboot or new Tales from the Borderlands? There is undeniably a certain style here. By the way, I'm using footage with credit from YouTube for
Very
these.
neon
All
color
within
palette.
fair
Just
use.
wanna point that
Because,
out.
I'm sorry, but why on earth would I want to play these games? Why would you expect or even want
Ew.
anybody to play these games? Say what you will about Telltale movie games, Tales from the Borderlands was a very well-written game,
Okay.
with
I'm gonna
well-wrought
believe
and
you, 'cause I've
interesting
never played
characters.
any of these
It'd be
games.
reasonable to be excited for the follow-up to that, on the basis of your enjoyment of the previous
Okay.
one. What you may forget is that this game isn't made by Telltale, it's Gearbox, who made Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is an excellent example of this style as well. In fact, the gradual collapsing quality of Borderlands writing maps onto this trend really
Okay.
well. Borderlands 3 had excessive pop culture references, like a mission where you
I'm
need
gonna
to get the
trust you.
big suck. I
You
can
sound
just
like a
imagine
fan
the
of this,
millennial
or
writers sitting back
ex-fan,
in
I
their
should
room
say.
chuckling at that. A wry grin on their face for the new level of
Hey, it's the
comedy they
Duke.
just unlocked. The main villains being streamers. It doesn't even say anything. It just has them as streamer cult leaders. Like, ooh, streamers are cult leaders. How so? At least have some sort of
Why
evidence of
streamers
that or present a
specifically?
critique. None of the characters are really built up and there are no rewarding arcs.
Why streamers specifically? Don't you just mean like overall influencers? Or are they trying to do like mega church pastors who kind of just like brainwash people into giving them all of their money? He's right. Why a streamer? Oh, because it's a job that all the little kiddies aspire to be, I guess. But you're on a stage, you're not streaming. Dumbasses.
It's like the writers are entitled. They just expect that we care about these characters. The moments in the game don't carry any weight or impact.
If there's a love triangle, swear to God, I'm gonna eat a salad. I don't know. I'll eat vegetables. Ugh.
Maya's death was so obviously avoidable and contrived. An obnoxious character like Tiny Tina was acceptable in 2012, when we didn't know any better,
Not a
but they just
child.
kept riffing on the same annoying aspects of these characters without moving on. They just can't let go of these lol so random characters. Why do I care if Atlas wins this corporate war? Apparently Maliwan is an evil corporation. Corporate assholes. But so are the guys we're fighting for. And the game just presents it as good and evil. They naturally cap it off with a girl power ending, despite how poorly they resolved
What?
the
And how much they undermined characters like Maya and Lilith. Oh, God. I fucking hate that shit. Like, oh no, just because we're girls, girls get it done. What is that scene from The Boys? Girls get it done. That's. If you want to see a real girls get it done moment, go watch the last episode of The Mandalorian season 2. Okay, that's some good ass shit. Honestly, when I was watching it, I didn't even realize it was just all like 4 women doing that. Somebody had to point it out to me, and I was like, holy shit, that's good writing. When you don't have to cram their gender down our throat. Hi, Finn. So, stop ham fisting it.
conflict between Ava and Lilith, you know, the protagonists of the story, and the brain dead reveal of Tannis being a super powerful secret siren this whole time.
Fuck is she? She the bad person? What?
And whenever they talk, they're always super
Tannis?
verbose. They just keep talking and talking for far longer than is necessary.
Dude, you know what I love in my action games? Talking. Mwah, really, sets the pacing for when I want to shoot somebody. No, you gotta sit and talk and tell about how and when and where you're gonna shoot somebody. Just, Mwah. Very awesome. Thank you, Starfield. Thank you, Cyberpunks.
And if you have no clue what I'm talking about, don't worry.
Okay.
It's nonsense
Oh, okay.
anyway. I think there's this famous post that pretty excellently sums up Borderlands writing. They can't go one line without stuffing it
this
full
so
of
blurry?
ironic observation as their form of jokes. The normal line would be like, if you can get some fuel canisters, then I can reactivate the main generator and get our shields back up. I mark the objective on your map.
Okay, but like that's boring. It's not character specific, it's not game specific.
Versus the Gearbox line, hey buddy, great job killing those mutants and all. You're really good at that. Shooting things, that is. One problemo.
Are they doing the woo, you're so good at your job, woo woo, can I ask you for a favor, please? Woo, I'm just a small bean. Please no.
Though, as it turns out, a bunch of monsters on this planet are gonna tear our eyes out if we don't get the shield back up. And this is just
Then get goggles. Duh.
my opinion, but that's gonna suck. Not having eyes sounds terrible. Like, how am I supposed to read my collection of bodacious space babes?
Like this motherfucker is reading Bodacious Space Babes. Okay, no, you're flipping through the pictures, the pages that are stuck together a little bit. Okay, you're not reading that. Shut up.
Without any flippin' eyeballs. So, here's my brilliant plan that I got written on this here napkin. I won't go on. You can pause and read the rest of it, but you get the idea.
No, we're reading it. We're readers here. Unlike the people who wrote this, we are readers. Okay. There's this brilliant plan this is so blurry, man. Come on. So here's my brilliant plan that I got written on the napkin. There's this generator thing. You follow me? And it needs gas. Who knew? So maybe you can go fetch it, some canisters, and then we can like get the generator running. And then like the shield thingy will go back up and we won't like get horribly, viciously murdered. Doesn't that sound great? I know, right? Bitch. I know, right? So since I did do most of the work coming up with this plan, I was thinking you could do the last step and get the canisters. If you like see any monsters, then like shoot them in the face or something. Oh, and one more tip. Try not to get killed. Lol XD. That'll put a wrench in their plan, metaphorically that is. No, literally. I hate people who use the term literally. It drives me figuratively insane. This is driving me insane. I'm going Joker mode here. Anyways, I'll just be here cowering in my bunker while you go do that. Go team, badass. Mwah! Let's examine what was actually said compared to the first message. What was it? We're gonna go back. Hold the fuck on. We're gonna listen to adults talk for a sec. Shut the fuck up. Okay, normal line. I can get some fuel canisters, then I can reactivate the main generator and get our shields back up. I marked the objects on your map. Boring, but whatever. This one, however, this is just like somebody who doesn't know how to interact with people, trying to rizz you up to tell you what to do for selfish purposes. Hey man, why don't you struggle, okay? Characters are defined through the choices they make, okay?
But worse. That is Tales from the Borderlands.
New Tales?
The worst thing about Gearbox is that they just don't get the memo. Are they addicted to sniffing their own farts or something? Why aren't they trying to improve their writing after literally everybody criticizes it?
New good eggs, who dis?
They assassinate the
Why
character
don't they
of Reese.
improve their
In
writing after everybody criticizes it? It's because they don't care. They feel no shame. Shame on the supervisor, okay? This person, it's like an intern. Like this is like an unpaid intern they found on Tumblr and we're like, hey, can you like write a prompt for this? And they just like stuck it in. Oh my God. Dude, if that was how it happened, holy shit.
In fact, he's basically a different character entirely to the one from Tales. Now he's the corporate
Oh, it's
arsehole,
Johnny
basically
Crimson
taking on the exact same role as his enemy in Tales. In Borderlands 3, there was some
Damn,
gag
that must have been a character journey. I wish we could have been along the ride for, but I guess not.
about how his favorite frozen yogurt place got destroyed.
Well, that's it. Say goodbye to your favorite Frogurt stand.
Not friends, Frogurts, anything but friends, Frogurts. I mean,
they give you that?
Oh, I can just imagine it. Some 30-something with an English degree paid for by their parents whose greatest trauma, besides getting trolled on Twitter, is their favourite food place which they would visit in between sessions of making PowerPoints in their Mac shutting down.
Counterpoint, you can make that work if you frame it as it's not the yogurt stand itself or whatever the fuck it is, it's what that yogurt stand means to the character. Okay? Like, maybe that yogurt stand is where they, like, went every Sunday with their mom or dad, or, like, that's where they met their wife or something, or maybe that, like, their grandma owns it or something and it's getting bought out by corpos. Okay? That's more interesting. That's a personal character connection to an object that we can personally understand. We understand, like, the heartbreak of losing something important to you, but if you're just going to put it in for the sake of funsies, you're wasting our time and you're losing our respect, which means your company is losing money.
And they brought that trauma into the game. Now apparently they thought this frozen yogurt gag was so funny that they had to revive it for the next game as the
Okay. It's basic character development, like going through something, using, like, your experiences to put that into the character. Like, we all share, like, hardships, loss. Hi, Pupper. He's getting upset. Hi. He hates bad writing too. But it's like we're all people. We have emotions. We have things we care about. But obviously, you're not showing that you, the writer, do not care about anything.
basis for one of the characters, as if it was some beloved gag. So this
See, like, what if this is the yogurt stand, like, what if that's, like, their diabetic, wheelchair bound, like, mom or older sister or something that, like, their entire livelihood depends on running and owning this yogurt stand. So then it's not you losing a treat that you like, it's somebody's entire life falling apart. That will get the audience on your side. That we can all, like, rally around. I don't give a fuck about what treats you like. Shut up.
Frogurt place is on Promethea, a fictional planet that looks remarkably like San Francisco. And of course it's very diverse, or rather it reflects the demographics of San Francisco. If the point
Yeah, but, like, where's all the homeless people and the cops, like, harassing any black person walking by? This is a very empty San Francisco.
of representation is to introduce new
I mean, the garbage, but it'd be black bags, not green, and don't even give me that green earth-friendly bullshit. No.
and different
Because maybe in cardboard boxes.
viewpoints, then this is achieving the exact opposite of that. It feels like these stories only represent the experiences of young, wealthy, inner-city tech people from the coastal cities of America, an extremely small niche, Twitter addicts.
Hey, Papa Girardi! I can smell your space calzones from here!
Ah, thanks! I need a new name for them!
Might also need to stop doing that problematic accent.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of the references and lingo just feel out of touch.
Miss
I'm surprised he wasn't like, it's character appropriation for you to even sell calzones if you're not Italian. You should really rethink your life. See? I can do your bullshit better than you.
Johnson,
Because I learned the source code.
did you get a cybernetic leg? That thing's straight
Oh my god, can somebody hand her, like, a crutch or, like, a walker or something? Oh my god. Is that, like, grinding up in her hip bone? Okay, not worth it.
Fire.
Not even worth it. Okay, definitely illegal to use a firearm within city districts. Cops get her.
Like they're trying to be younger than they actually are. A lot of the language feels like 5 years out of date. And there's a certain character design. The shaved on one side and long hair swept on the other, the brightly coloured hair. It's extremely common. There are also adult characters who speak like children, or just generally speak in a really
Okay, counterpoint to that, you will notice within, like, regions, pocket regions or whatever, there is definitely a same style that people have. And maybe for this, I mean, I guess it's like cyberpunk. What the fuck is it called? Diesel punk. It's like diesel cyberpunk look. So, like, I get that, but also I understand your point of, like, hey, the way you physically express yourself is important and it will visually tell a person faster who you are as a person at a glance than having to sit down and have a conversation over frozen yogurt with you. Okay? The outfits need to matter. If you make them all look the same, then you're like, okay, there's nothing different about these characters. Counterpoint, this aesthetic, I think, is really similar to like Fortnite, just like the pop colors. So, yeah, they're just like copying aesthetics. God, this is so washed. There's no contrast to anything. Everything's the same fucking color. All the same characters, all the same colored background. Very cool.
Condescending or patronizing tone.
While I examine this unimaginably complex and priceless alien artifact, you may wait outside and steal anything not nailed down.
There was the new Saints Row reboot as well. We knew it was going to be terrible before launch, and we weren't surprised at all. They made the main...
Okay, also definitely illegal. You cannot just charge a firearm within city limits. Cops, get her!
Characters into a bunch of broke college kids, and they're all dealing with student debt and rent and complaining about capitalism. They try to borrow some internet lingo like...
Are they gonna start singing about AIDS too? We love it.
Wage slave.
Originality.
They're super verbose. They do
Original ideas are too expensive. There you go. Just summed all this up.
not stop haranguing the player with dialogue, and they use expletives like they're meant to be edgy, or they're just funny on their own.
Goddamn fucking shitballs on a stick with a side order of mother-loving, shit-smothered, piss-covered ass crack!
It's like they get a kick out of swearing for no reason. Also, it's super funny that characters are talking about their carbon footprint.
Your carbon footprint always matters.
My carbon footprint about to go up your ass if you don't shut up.
So relatable, am I right, fellow millennials? People talk about that on Twitter, right? They really do talk about capitalism a lot. They don't really say much about it, though. They just say the word, and we're supposed to think, I don't even know, like, wow, you're really culturally aware.
I've told you before, the idols are trying to build a post-capitalist society where money is not a concept.
The original...
So, communism? They're trying to build a commune with a communist government? Bro, just fucking say it. See? It's like this fake bullshit. You're gonna bitch about capitalism, but you're not gonna... you're gonna bitch about capitalism, but you're not gonna offer any alternative solutions. And like, oh, you can't say capitalism because like, that's a bad word. Ooh, it's a bad word. We say socialism. We can be socialists, not communism. Hey, communism is no private ownership, okay? That's what it is. So if you're going to try and get rid of money, then there can't be any private ownership. Okay? Goods are traded, not sold. Like, why don't you like, hey, we're going to make free public education. Like, we're going to make free public education. Okay, that's fine. We're going to make taxpayer funded housing for people who need it. Okay, that's great. But whatever this is, hey, why don't we do, you want to bitch about college debt? Okay, well, let's do city funded higher education for anybody who wants it. Okay, people with higher educations can get better jobs. They pay more taxes. It's the circle of money that benefits the people, not the corporations, but they can't say it with their chest because they're corporate overlord bosses. If we're going to put a label on, I guess, corporate wokeism, like you want to talk to like progressive liberal ideologies without implementing them because you make more money by pretending.
Series started as a GTA clone and got progressively more wacky and outlandish. The humor was extremely crass. It recognized the absurdity and cranked it up as high as possible. It was self-aware before self-aware humor became really tired. They certainly did make pop culture references, but like Borderlands, this style of humor was more apt in 2012. It feels like they haven't really grown since then. They've had to tone down a lot of the most vulgar elements of the humor from previous games, which just doesn't work because vulgarity was the core of the humor in them. And again we see the same character design, the Skrillex cut, the dyed hair. You see it in so many games, it's like they're reading from the same guidebook. Now, something that feels similar, but is harder to place my finger on, is the new Wolfenstein games. The New Order was alright. Wolfenstein 2 started to introduce some weirdness, like throwing their fetishes into the game. But Youngblood is where the failure of the writing becomes
New fetish
really apparent.
DLC unlocked.
It's centered
Hell
around
yeah.
these quirky
Coming this
twins who
Christmas.
get up to silly antics in between bouts of killing people. It's strange how frivolous it is with violence. Of course, that certainly isn't a new thing, but in
This is why I hate the Joss Whedon thing. Josh Whedonism. He's like, I think he's gonna say something dark, but like put a joke in it. I'm like, okay, but that like completely breaks the tension of what's going on, especially if you don't know how to tell a joke, like sarcasm or like dark humor. But basically, what they're doing is a fart joke, you know, like everybody's serious and then like, and then we go, and the audience is like, haha, fart, but it adds nothing. There's no character development. There's no theme development. It's just.
this game, the main characters seem to delight in it. That also isn't the weird part. It's that they delight in this violence, and there is nothing really wrong with it. They're not anti-heroes, they're just regular old protagonists. And it's just silly and fun. It's strangely flippant. I mean, the New Order wasn't like that. It did have over the
Did you steal that from the boys? Stop it.
top violence. But BJ Blazkowicz was motivated by a righteous fury and rage. He never really reveled in killing or celebrated it. There's also the loud equals funny yelling. Some of the new Wolfenstein writing just feels like the writers had some issues of their own to work on.
See, when it's shit like that, there's no stakes, there's no consequences, there's no plot progression. I mean, you could probably use it for character development, but like, I seriously doubt that's what they did. They're just like, let's have something to laugh at. Like, if you cut that out, 9 times out of 10, the plot wouldn't even change. There'd be no difference.
Why is it that balls are always used as some fucking default definition of badassery?
It feels like they wanted to make a political statement that they just weren't equipped to make. High on Life is another super obvious example.
Here's your political statement I'm going to make for you. We, as a society, are so subjected to violence that it's being used as humor, and the more like extreme it is, the more like we don't know how to react, so we just laugh at it. You know, like, it's like entertainment. They laugh. Like, are we supposed to laugh? Because I'm pretty freaked out right now. Like, I'm disturbed if you think like the suffering and death of another human is that funny to you. Like, I'm gonna go home. Thank you.
It has all of the same hallmarks: overly verbose characters, unnecessary swearing as if it was funny on its own. I mean, I like Michael Cusack. Damo and Darren at the train station is one of the most quoted videos here in Australia. But man, the knifey character didn't work. They had a cameo from Psychic Pebbles as well, who is usually absolutely hilarious. But in this game, I don't think the bit really worked. I noticed there's a certain vocabulary as well. It wouldn't be unusual to hear words such as weird or shitty. And it is weird that the dude who...
Okay, yeah, even The Witcher says fuck. So, and it's funny. It's played for laughs because he's so serious. And then because he's so serious. And then just to watch his stoicism break and he goes, fuck. That's funny. Because it's like a subversion of expectations. But if you're just like mouth vomiting words, like, it's not funny. We're not laughing. So you're going to have to keep doing more and more extreme examples, like what we're seeing on TikTok right now, to just get a new reaction out of us. It's like, hey, subvert our expectations, you know? Do something nice or kind or sincere. That would subvert our expectations.
Well, you know what he did. Is calling anyone shitty. This kind of dialogue is really common. I feel like High on Life could have done with an editor. Somebody to cut like 90% of the dialogue, only leaving the best stuff in.
Like
as of right now, it seems like they believe that annoying
stupid,
equals funny.
Shit.
Similarly to loud equals funny.
Everything sucks.
Destiny 2 seems to have taken on some of this writing as well. Anna Bray is starting to sound like a Borderlands character.
My security frames are overrun. Is another example of your over-promise, under-deliver attitude?
Huh.
None of that sounded like, Anna, please help me. I need you. They're killing me. Ow.
A simple yes would satisfy.
Okay, just again, the fucking cruelty. Like, oh, you're suffering, bitch. I get my period today. That's real suffering. Shut up. Oh, you're hungry? Well, there's homeless people, so shut up. Oh my god, dude. Suffering is subjective, okay? God damn.
So quick.
And then it's like, I don't like you. Okay, fuck you as a character. I don't like you. I don't want to be this type of person. If like I don't care about the person I'm here with, why do I care that I'm here? Why do I care about continuing playing this game? What am I trying to get done if I don't care about anything?
Quirky and sardonic. This type of delivery sounds condescending. It reminds me of the boss from Office Space.
Yeah. If you could just...
I thought he was talking about a game. There's a game called The Office, and there's a boss battle in it. That'd be good. This would be a fun game. I guess it's like the Stanley Parable, but like, you know, at the end where you just burn it down. That'd be pretty good.
Just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on. That would be great.
I'll be honest, I do not see the appeal. And, you know, I can't really bring up Millennial writing without at least mentioning indie Earthbound-inspired game that's secretly about depression and mental health. These tend not to have the exact same tropes. Now that I think of it, it wouldn't be unusual to find similar stuff in indie games. It's just that people in the comments are gonna bring this up if you're gonna talk about Millennial games. So
Okay,
I think I'm starting to get
cool.
a picture of it. The hallmarks of this style of writing that stick out to me from these and many more examples. The aforementioned vocabulary. Shitty, weird, gross, icky, yucky, yikes. My dude, my guy, y'all, and of course, decent human being. Another Millennial phrase I tend to hear is, the bar is on the floor. It's funny how a lot of these phrases are kind of childish. I'm not sure whether they're trying to be condescending and infantilizing to others, or whether they are themselves infantilized. They so often sound passive-aggressive. Another Millennial phrase that annoys me is do better or be better. Again, talking down to you. It's insanely condescending. It just seems like a failure to grow up. A lot of the humor seems like it's from the people who've struggled to grow up since 2012. It seems like they're emotionally stunted. And this is probably just me reading into it, and I see a lot of crossover with the being emotionally stunted and all of the pop culture references. It seems like some kind of identity that they're trying to cling to, that they can't let go of. I mean,
They're clinging to an identity because they haven't built a new one. They haven't established a new one. So it's like, I haven't like done some self-discovery shit. I don't know who I am. Well, I like the show. Okay, well then I'll buy like a so I'll buy a memorabilia for it, but it's like, okay, then it's just a fucking thing on your shelf, okay? Like, look into Buddhism. Like, ownership leads to suffering. You're literally building your fucking tomb here, dude, with plastic. This is like your life experience is all this shit you've seen through other people's eyes. Why don't you go out there and have your own original experience, okay? Instead of just sitting in this tomb, like Egyptian tomb that you've built yourself out of crap.
I mean, Fallout 2 all the way back then was full of pop culture references, but I don't know, back then being a quote-unquote nerd was kind of a subculture of its own. It wasn't really something people aimed to be, it's just a label people got slapped with for the activities and subculture they gravitated towards. It was to make fun of them. Now, nerd is like a market demographic. It seems that being a self-admitted nerd,
this isn't nerdy. You're just collecting shit. I collect dolls. I'm such a quirky nerd. No. No, you're just a consumer who has preferences.
and being obsessed
Like,
with pop
goddamn.
culture is based purely around cynical consumption nowadays. And obviously nothing epitomizes this more than the Funko Pop, which is like a religious icon for millennials. The pop culture obsession seems to stem from an inability or refusal to
Okay, like for real though, those like Funko Pops creep me out because they have like what is it? Coraline button eyes. It's creepy.
grow up. The kinds of references that were funny in 2007 and tolerable in 2012 are just embarrassing now. There are other hallmarks, like letting you pet the doggo, because that's a Twitter account, right? Having quips everywhere that undermine dramatic moments.
What? Yeah, see? I'm very much of the make it dark, make it grim, make it tough, but then for the love of God, tell the joke. Who you telling the joke for? For the audience, to break them out of the scene, to break the tension that is developing the character at this exact same moment? It can be hard for an audience to sit through something horrible, but like, okay, if there's something horrible and we see the character like succeed and like rise above that moment, that's more engaging to an audience than just like a fart joke. Fart joke.
Having an easy mode called Tell Me a Story or Story Mode, letting you skip bosses or parts of the gameplay, making the game easier if you fail too many times. I also just wanted to...
And I think we found the root of the fucking entitlement. If you didn't earn it, you expect it. Give it to me. You don't have to go through any adversity to get what you want. You don't have to earn it. It'll just be handed to you if you beg long enough. God bless the Souls games. Swear to God.
Mention a few tweets because people speak like this on Twitter, and I think that's where it comes from. And once you see enough of this, you start to recognize this style when you see it in media. Tuesday, the day you realize that nothing can stop you, because you are a magic skeleton packed with meat and animated with electricity and imagination. You have a cave in your face full of sharp bones and 5 tentacles at the end of each arm. You can do anything, magic skeleton. Between burn.
Yeah, an Attack on Titan is a flesh mecha, bro. We know. White people don't have enough problems in their life. I'm sorry, man. You don't. Or like you drank too much lead water and your mind is cracked to think like people should praise and pay attention to you because you say something that unhinged. And I mean, I get if it's like a funny little haha, just like through thought patterns and self-meditation, I feel powerful than I am. That I feel more power over myself than my corporate overlords. Ha ha ha. It's like, look at that dog. Look at that doggy. Finn. Anyways, it's just like not taking stuff seriously. Just like, oh my God, how am I supposed to take you seriously if you don't even take yourself seriously? Got him.
Ernie, my ex-wife, the tenant from hell, and general chump fuckery. This has been a cromulent fuck crustable of a day. Tommy needy drinky. Kanye is a teeny weeny little baby bitch muffin. What you'll notice is the playground insults mixed with swearing.
If you don't have anything original or insightful to say, don't say anything, okay? Play the I'm stoic card. That's more interesting than whatever the fuck that was.
And they're talking in a baby language, like with these invented words that they just came up with. Beyond that, there's all the references to student debt. So relatable, am I right, fellow millennials? Ironic that the people who talk about representing broader viewpoints and life experiences seem to make the same few jokes that only appeal to a tiny group of people who are like them. Degree in English from major coastal cities of the USA. The student debt thing is also meant to be their social commentary. And that brings us to the juiciest part,
I haven't played this game, but I'm going to guess that they didn't use it correctly. Debt is a prism that our capitalist overlords set upon us so that we don't ask for more. We don't demand better because we don't demand more. We don't demand better. They don't have to feed us a full meal if we're satisfied with table scraps. Okay? That's the social commentary that was said. Debt is a prison, okay? And then like whoever owns your debt or your fucking landlord or whatever, they can do whatever the fuck they want and you just have to like sit there and take it. You're trapped in it. But if you don't have debt, then you can do whatever you want. You can pick up, do whatever, live your dreams. If that's what they were trying to say, if like, oh, we're in debt, but oh, if we work for this capitalist overlord or whatever, they'll pay off our debt. Okay, that's interesting. That's a conflict of interest. There's some tension there. It's like, oh, sell your soul to get Shawshank Redemption. Crawl through a sewer pipe to get to freedom. Crawl through a shitty water slide. Yeah, okay. There's adversity. Respect.
The politics. A game like Saints Row keeps referencing capitalism, as if it was offering some sort of critique, but it's not really saying anything. A lot of these games seem to just reference political events or...
I bet this has as much depth as... I have to get a job at the grocery store because like I have bills to pay. Boo, that sucks. I'm just gonna like call my mom. She pays my rent anyways.
social issues because it's like they feel obliged to. They do these political things, not because they have anything to say, but because...
No, they're not doing political things. They're just parroting whatever is trending online so people will pay attention to them. It's like it's like art, you know, if like you make something just for people to look at, just to pay attention to. That's called kitsch. It has no meaning to it. It just to draw people's attention, maybe be fun for a little bit, but it has no deeper meaning. And if you're going to delve into something as politically driven as capitalism and debt and like state ownership of your person, who you are, okay, well, what if they were like so much in debt that they had to like sell their services and like live in a dorm where they like all wear the same uniform, no personal expression. They do the same like shitty job their entire lives. It's like, okay, that says something. There's an actual consequence to that instead of like just being sad. I can't go to Starbucks. Boo.
Because they think they have to say something. This is because of Twitter and just social media in general, well, at least partly. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, the complaints about how they're politicizing video games were coming to a head. We need to stop politicizing this escapist hobby. Then some Redditors from a place named Gaming Circle Jerk took these complaints and ran with them. They've been telling their singular joke for like 6 years now. Actually, Chud, games have always been political, then showing examples of old games and how they made some political statement. Every meme since then has been some...
Wait, I wanna look.
Actually ran with them. They've been telling their singular joke for like 6 years now. Actually, Chud, games have always been political, then showing examples of...
Okay. Have politic... No politic good. Are these motherfuckers actually saying Modern Warfare 2 and BioShock are apolitical? Did you even play the game? And no, The Last of Us 2 is not political, okay? It's stupid. It has... It's not political. Girl Bad is not political, okay?
Of old games and how they made...
The video game shouldn't be political starter pack. Black Ops. I don't know what the fuck that is. Assassin's Creed 3. Just because there's politicians in your game doesn't mean it's political, okay? Where's Wolfenstein?
It's some political statement. Every meme since then has been some variant of le gamers, le politics. It's also paired with the statement that all art is political, and games, as art, are making a political
Literally what I just said. It's kitsch art. Kitsch art says nothing. It's just made to be sold to the masses, NPCs, plebs, whatever you want. Typically, if you buy kitsch, it's just to make you happy and distracted from the capitalist hellscape that you currently live in. Circle of emptiness.
Statement, even if they don't overtly comment on anything. Saying nothing is a sign that you tacitly affirm the status quo. You aren't fighting hard enough against capitalism if you aren't speaking out against it. And it seems that they've reached game devs with this message. I think it's a common enough sentiment that many game devs feel
You want to beat capitalism? Unionize, okay? Seize the means of production, okay? Your CEO is not going to walk down to the factory floor and build the Ford trucks himself, is he? No, they rely on you because you're the ones that make the products they sell and they don't even work hard. Okay, this is going to be whatever. Find Stardew Valley on there. Stardew Valley. That is a very political game if you want to get into it. It's about like corpos versus small town. In the game, you can choose to basically bring an Amazon factory warehouse to this little town, or you can invest in like shop local stuff, which will drive the corpo Amazon Jojo Mart out. That's political. That's a choice because people who like do speed runs on it, they choose Jojo Mart because it's helps you get money faster. But if you choose the community one, then it's like you help rebuild the town and you like genuinely make people's lives better. So it's like, that's political. Could have done the same thing here, you know, rebuild the neighborhood instead of just like, bitch.
Obliged to say something, to make a statement about politics, even when they don't really have anything of value to say. And it shows. Oftentimes these political allegories and references to capitalism just feel phoned in, like in Saints Row. It isn't really saying anything, it's just making the references because
money bad.
I guess it looks like
money
that's
bad
what people want
away.
when
Give
you
me
look at social media.
Good.
Am I right? Do my moots on the Bird app agree with this? We talk about this all the time, same with Borderlands. It's maybe trying to make a statement about evil corporations.
Corporate asshat.
But you fight for corporations the whole time. And I just want to take a moment to compare the
He sounds like Johnny in Cyberpunk. Corpos, boo. Why do you want to destroy the Why do you want to destroy the corpos? Because corpos bad. Why are they bad? Because corpos. Get out of my head, please. It's like, it's as shallow as that. You're talking, but you're not saying anything.
The capital P politics in games versus how old games would present political issues. In all those older games, it was more of an idea that was presented. It was often aware of the nuance, and it didn't force your opinion on the matter. It'd perhaps present you with a choice and an ethical quandary to bring you to question your own beliefs. It respected the player's intelligence. Of course, the writers of those games had intent. They would frame things in such a way that it made their ideology seem favorable. But it'd never force your hand, and it never felt like they were trying to
If nobody challenges your beliefs, then how do you know if you truly believe them? Put that in a game. If you only ever drink from the same well, how would you know if it's poisoned?
force any message. The political message that could be gleaned from the game arises naturally as a result of the setting. Contrary to what Redditors claim, Fallout was not created as a
War is humanity's greatest sin, and we are doomed to partake in it for eternity, for it never changes. If you walk into life with that mindset, then no, it's not going to change because you can't envision better, okay? The shadow in the caves allegory. You think the shadows on the cave wall are gods. If you don't ever get out of the cave, you're not going to realize that, okay? Get out of your cave, get out of your basement, go touch grass.
Political allegory. It was, first of all, a dumb, absurdly violent, ridiculously bleak game with crazy guns and mutants. There were of course ethical quandaries and political dilemmas presented as part of the setting that could be applied to the contemporary world. It never portrayed communism favorably. It didn't really say much of anything about it.
Shut up.
It was
Is that
mostly
just a reference
focused
to
on
what I just
America
said?
and American culture. And any of the critiques rose out of that setting. Now compare it to the politics in current games. It often feels like a cynical reference.
Okay, it's not politics, it's bitchatics, okay? Because all you want to do is bitch. You don't want to actually do anything to make real change. You just want to sit around and bitch about it. Bitchatics.
To current thing. It's often things which do not suit the setting. It never explores any ideas in depth. It simply tells you things, rather than presenting something and allowing you to think about it. I think that's the crux of it. It's about respecting the player's intelligence, allowing you to work things out on your own, to choose for yourself, to come to your own conclusion. Of course, we can't have people making their own choice nowadays. They might make the wrong one. I think condescending sums it up perfectly. They think you're stupid. They're also kind of pretentious. A lot of this political writing presents the most basic opinions and
It's not that you're stupid. It's that they know that what they believe and what they're teaching you is so fucking flimsy and flat and wrong that as soon as you hear another opinion, you're going to be like enlightened. You're going to be like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. We don't want to encourage our developers or our artists or marketing team or whatever to unionize. We don't want to rally them into doing that. So we're just going to bitch-a-tix them. Like, oh yeah, just because this sucks. I'm adulting. No, you don't want to reform for real change because then your office workplace would change and you don't want that.
never heard
maternity leave? Ew.
Like they just blew your mind, like it's something revolutionary. Now, why did millennial writing rise in the first place? I legitimately think it is Twitter. Look, for a business's continued survival,
I'm going to counter that. I think millennial writing is just a form of escapism. Like I was saying before, it's like the narcissism and the hubris and entitlement of just the way these people write. It's because they haven't like earned anything in their lives because there's nothing for us to earn. Like some in my this is like one of the worst generations, worse off than our parents. Okay. Yeah. Life sucks. You know, we're drowning in student debt, we blah blah blah, whatever, can't even afford to pay the light bill, whatever. So people sensitivos like this will go on to escapism platforms like Tumblr, Twitter, not Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, 4chan, and they'll just get into these little holes where everybody shares the same thoughts, and it just like nothing new. Not a new idea or ideology enters the space because you've like self-sucked yourselves into this bubble. And then anybody that challenges that thought challenges your entire belief system. And it's like you are too depressed or, what is the word? Like unmotivated to go outside and try. So you're just going to like sit on the internet and like be a contrarian because that's the only control that you have over your life is to say what you want, and you either get likes or you start a fight because that is the only thing you have control over in your life. Am I right? Fellow millennials, me with our side parts.
Needs to adapt constantly. When you stop growing, you start dying. So you need to look at
Oh, and I also blame Bush's No Child Left Behind Act. Okay, thank you.
current trends. What is an easy way to see current trends? Why, the way everyone communicates. Social media. I think that writers, devs, and producers are getting their idea of what constitutes current trends from Twitter, which I think is really misguided for the simple
Also, same point to what he's saying. Like I was saying earlier, you get sucked into these tiny bubbles. It's like, okay, well, like all the game devs, writers, whatever, they're very like cliquish. They get sucked into their own bubbles, and it's like they get inspiration off of each other. So it's like I was saying, there's no new thoughts, ideologies, voices coming into the scene because online shit is very gatekeepery. And it's very, you know, shut you down if you say anything that I disagree with. Like, boo, you're Satan incarnate. So it's like you're not inviting new thoughts into your sphere. So that's why it's all the same. It's because they don't want to hear different opinions because then it might challenge what they know. And if you challenge what they know and you're right, then what they know is wrong. And they can't be wrong because pride is the only thing they have.
Simple fact that Twitter
The
does
only thing that makes them feel good about
not
themselves.
represent broader society. Most of what you'll hear on Twitter comes from a very small, very...
Okay, US adult Twitter users are younger and more likely to be Democrats than general public. Not anymore, Lamau. Most users rarely tweet, but the most prolific 10% create 80% of tweets from adults in the US. Okay, a lot of people also get their news on Twitter, so chill out. And like follow like celebrity shit.
very vocal minority. And hey, for a while the FBI was basically deciding who is and isn't allowed to have a voice on that side. I think that producers should look elsewhere to get an idea of broader society, somewhere besides social media. It only elevates fringe voices. I guess this does kind of destroy the whole argument that Twitter is just a private company which doesn't really control much of public discourse. Twitter, for a private company, holds an extreme amount of power over public dialogue, and it's the same with every social media site.
Yeah, also bull fucking shit that they have no like impact on society. They control the algorithms. They know what people are seeing and people react quickest and more like out of the time I'm going to click on this if it makes me angry. Facebook did a fucking psychological test on people like this. People see something that angers them, they're not going to read it because they're already triggered. So they're just going to like repost and put their opinion, and somebody else is going to see that. It's going to go. And then because of that activity, it's going to be pushed in the algorithm. So people are going to see it first. So it's like this just doom and gloom, rage inducing, just like fucking tornado that some people are like want to engage in because whatever, see the world burn or whatever. And some people are just like, I'm out of here. This sucks. I'm depressed. But then there's that whole doom scrolling phenomenon. So it's like, get out of the cave, go look at the sunshine.
I have to say, it was pretty funny to me seeing Unishek, the community manager for Halo Infinite, borrow some of the cynical and condescending.
Should game developers be allowed to take vacation? Yes, while being on call. No. Hey, both of those options are no vacation,
Language
bitch.
from Gaming Circle Jerk, only to get screenshotted and
Game devs aren't allowed the basic necessities of vacation PTO unless they agree to be on call. Cool. Hey, we own you. Because, you know, all that student debt that you've accumulated, we own you. There you go. There's something to say in your stupid game.
and roasted on the site himself. It was hilarious to see that backfire. I will
Literally
admit.
blackmail.
So, in all, I guess the advice I'd give to
But under a
producers
free market
is the same
system.
advice I'd give to everybody. Unplug. Shut off social media for a bit. Live in the real world. And don't be so condescending. And
do something that makes you happy. If sitting on Twitter, Tumblr, whatever, doom scrolling makes you depressed and have like a negative outlook on society, stoicism, you're controlling those thought patterns. Go look at like cute puppy videos, or go watch like a painting tutorial, or go learn a new hobby like painting or cooking or something. Go watch like a funny like comedian or like a gamer content creator or something that makes you happy. Like I get into these pitfalls all the time where I just like am suddenly down like pedophile murderers and I'm like, okay, let's get out of here. I'm getting out of this and I'm gonna go watch like funny movie reviews, you know? It's like that. But it's the like recognizing it because for whatever reason, depression is addictive. Fuck.
and get to the point. Please subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. And goodbye. You can do anything,
Goodbye.
Magic Skeleton.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I feel so special. I mean, like I was saying, it's like art is a reflection of the current society that it like evolves from. I don't know. I think it's millennial writing is people who are depressed and angry but don't know how to solve their problems because A, they're on the internet, B, they get into these little echo chamber rabbit hole, and it's like nobody challenges what you're saying. If nobody challenges what you're saying, then you don't have to change. You don't have to challenge yourself. I know. I've been in one. It was awful. Most of all, I just feel bad for the gamers. all the gamers out there who just want like a fun escapism from back in the good old days, and then it's like done like this. Corpos see that it works. Oh, Joss Whedon, The Avengers was so popular. Yeah, like just do that. They're just like popcorn ham fisting, deep throating you with this bullshit that they think you like, instead of like actually letting real artists do art. But you know what? The free market will decide the winner, okay? Good luck to this studio making another game. Thank you, Shredded Nerd, for your millennial writing. Like I said, I'm gonna link it in the bio below. I love talking about writing. I'm gonna do it more because I like video game writing. I love it so much. I want to talk about it. So if you want to see more, please like and subscribe to give me some millennial self-confidence to make more. And remember, life is a journey, not a race, and do something that makes you happy. Bye.